I mean, the Mideast. I mean, look at that place. It's just it's ablaze.
Yeah.
It's ablaze.
Well, I have a good friend of mine who came on the podcast recently and was talking about his experiences in Afghanistan and how crazy it is there. And he's like, it's like you're going back in time 1,000 years. Like the way women are treated and children are treated, the amount of pedophiles and open molestation of boys and just murder
Why do you think, at least in particular, that Jerusalem is just such a hotbed? It's a point of contact and conflict for all three major religions: Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. All claim that small bit of land. I wonder what it is about that part of the world.
Well, it's got to be from the Bible, right? I mean, that's the significance of it as holy land. That the concept of holy land is always so. If there's a place where it is literally in the Bible that this is the place where Jesus is going to return to, well, this is going to be a place where people do battle over. Like you can't let the enemy control the place where Jesus comes back to. Because what if Jesus comes back and they immediately snuff him out because they're Islamists?
Right. Well, it goes even further back than that. It was the location of the temple. The temple of the God of the Hebrews was built in Jerusalem,
wow.
the first and the second.
How much history is there? Like, how far does it go back?
Well, Judaism began, maybe 4,000 years ago. And the first temple was built, oh, gosh, I should know this. It stood for 400 years. Then it was destroyed, and the second temple lasted around 400 years. It was destroyed in 70 CE, the second temple. When was the first temple in existence, Jamie?
So even if that's the timeline, so that we're looking at about 4,000 years, right?
Like Abraham, the first of the Hebrews lived around 1800 BCE.
So 2000 BCE, the first known mention of the city. So that's 2000 before current era in Middle Kingdom Egyptian. How do you say that? Excretion texts. What does that mean?
Execration text.
Execration.
Curses.
Curses.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, execrations are curses, extreme curses.
Really?
Yeah. If you execrate someone, you are really cursing them.
Ancient Egyptian hieratic text listing the enemies of the pharaoh, most often the enemies of Egyptian state or troublesome foreign neighbors. The texts were most often written upon statuettes of bound foreigners.
Yeah.
Bowls, or what was the other word it said there? It said bowls or it's blocked out.
Execration texts, yeah.
Or blocks of clay or stone. Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of an Egyptian execration text.
Jesus. How wild.
Yeah, so Jerusalem is an old city, and the temples were there a long, long time ago. And the location of the temples relates to dreams of Jacob, who was laying on the ground and on a stone and made of a vow, to God, the God of the Hebrews, who Jacob was communing with, to build the house of the Lord there. And so there's a long history of that part of the world being associated with the patriarchs and with the temple. Christianity has an association to Jerusalem because of Jesus. I'm not sure what the connection between Islam and Jerusalem is. It's clearly more recent.
Well, isn't it always this sort of situation where when someone really likes a thing, everybody wants it?
Yeah. Well, there's things called greed, envy, and jealousy.
Yeah.
I've always liked the distinction among those three qualities.
Here it says, Jerusalem is revered by Muslims as the third holiest place on earth, and the pilgrimage to Jerusalem is viewed as an optional complement to the pilgrimage to Mecca, the Hajj. Unlike the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Jerusalem is undertaken individually at any time of the year.
Well, I've never been to Israel.
Now's not a good time.
No. And, there's this thing called the Jerusalem complex.
Yeah, I've heard of that before.
You are like...
You think you're a Messiah when you get there.
Right, I'm the Messiah. Right, so, that might be a problem.
You could see how it'd really be a problem if someone was inclined to that, headed in that direction.